Hi, I'm Cheryl Meyer, and I want to welcome you to Sanctuary Kitchen. Today we're going to be preparing Chicken Little with a side of Brussels sprouts. And I wanted to just start by saying this recipe has been in our family for a long time. When my mother and Joey first met, my mother prepared this Chicken Little, although it wasn't called that at the time. And Joby just adored it. She just loved the whole thing. And I think the thing that she really loved about it was she'd never to that day had any capers. And when she first tasted capers, she fell in love. And so that recipe became one of those, hey Cheryl, get that recipe from your mom and let's start cooking that. I really like that recipe. I think what she really liked was the capers. But in any case, Chicken Little, we now have it. People say, where did that name come from, Chicken Little? Well, I don't know, but I pulled up that old recipe that my mother gave me, and I was looking at it, and it says, chicken breasts with lemon and capers. Boring, right? So, therefore, Chicken Little. And when I further looked at the recipe and all the items on it, I said, wow, I've really changed this. And so, then for sure, it deserves a new name. Chicken Little it is, and there you have it. If you look at this plated Chicken Little, as from my mother's old recipe, it looks very beautiful. And I just want to say, sometimes mine turns out looking like that, sometimes not so much. And I want to share with you a little bit more later. You'll find out why it doesn't always look as beautiful as that. And then, oh yeah, my apron. I am not in Texas, so I don't have my sanctuary apron. So here I am in Joe's mom's kitchen. I call her Mom, and cooking in Cadillac, Michigan. And I'm wearing one of my favorite aprons, which my cousins Tracy and Jim gave me on my 60th birthday. And so this is it, and I'll try not to allow the influence of the wine to affect me too much as I'm preparing this food. But I gotta warn you that this recipe first came from my mom. It's her idea, right? And she is one of those people who always cooks with wine and sometimes puts a little in the food, you know? So we'll see what happens here. All right, let's start to prepare the chicken. What I do is I buy 3 chicken breasts, skinless, boneless, and I buy the kind that say no antibiotics, humanly raised, vegetable fed, no hormones or steroids. Joey calls them happy chickens. And so these are the nice chickens that we buy. And we want to first take the chicken and we want to pound it to the thickness that we want. Now when I first started doing this, I used to just pound it directly on the cutting board. And it made a big chicken mess all over the place, raw chicken, ugh, you know. And then Tom Cole saw me doing it and he said, why don't you just put a piece of saran wrap over the top of the cutting board and then put the chicken on and then put a piece of saran wrap on the top and then pound it. And I'm like, oh my God, what a wonderful idea. Genius. Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate that. So you take the chicken, put it between those 2 pieces of saran wrap, and you start pounding it with your little pounding tool. And you want to get it down to be between 1/4 and 1/2 inch thick. Now, one thing to remember is you want to pound with the flat side. I made the mistake once of pounding with the tenderizing side. Not a good result at all. So, again, pounding it down to get to that place where it's between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. All right, now when we've got that done, you can open up your 1 saran wrap there and take your piece of chicken, and it's gotten quite large now, this breast, because of the pounding. So I cut it into portion sizes, and I use kitchen scissors because I think that's easier than using a knife. It just works a little bit better for me, and these happen to come from Cutco, so they're very nice kitchen scissors, as a matter of fact. All right.